Bretsky!
What?
Get your ass over here! All rise! It's the VIPOD! Come get it while it's hot. Season 2 is just gonna smell like a fried chicken fire log in here. Squirt. Squirt, 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 squirt. You know what our listeners want to hear? What? I don't know either. Where's that cactus? We should just have the cocaine song as our intro.
What the
I'm in the Migrin. Did you just try to play footsie with me? You know who I really hate?
Tommy, I am your father.
Oh, so now we're doing movie quotes? Yep. Run, Bretsky, run! Are you recording?
Yep.
No, but really, are you recording?
Yeah. I get it. I see what you're doing here.
You may be seated. I am the greatest one, Wayne Bretsky, and I'm here alongside a couple co-hosts today. I got Tommy Show 1.0. I got the Nomad, and we have our special guest for the evening, Shah. Welcome, Shah, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Is that still where you're
That's where I'm at right now, boy.
Nice. How's the weather there?
Looks warmer than here, although it's pretty fucking warm here, I'm not going to lie.
It is, but like we get rain and then humid and then rain. Ah, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Here's what it looks like.
Is that where you throw the parties at that pool?
Yep, that's the pools. Yep.
Okay, you guys heard it. It's official. We've been invited to Atlanta for a pool party.
I'll be
Hell
driving
yeah,
through
but I will
pretty
body
soon.
shame a motherfucker. Just remember that shit. But it's okay. All bodies are welcome. All bodies are welcome.
Oh yeah. You know, it took years to develop this belly here.
Yeah, this is all potential muscle sitting behind this.
Hey, I don't judge. I don't judge. Just make sure if you come, you bring abortion medication and tools, because we are about abortion here. We don't need kids running around. I know if you've been hearing the
I always keep
news.
a coat hanger in my trunk.
Okay. Hopefully we have more modern tools, but if that's what it comes down to, then, you know.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, we might know a couple of people that like killing babies too. So,
Hey, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. So.
that's an inside joke that we talked about. That
I'm not a part of this.
Has never been
Very
released.
dark, very dark. I ran with it. I hope I'm not implicated in any way. It was a dark joke.
No.
You should have listened to two shows again.
Well, we only released
That
it
was
like
last show.
a couple days ago.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been pretty brutal. So I had to cut out a bunch of parts from that. But anyways, let's not talk about that now. Okay, so I know nothing about you. I've been so fucking busy that I only did a little research. But
let me take it away, Shah.
Yeah, Bretsky knows
Shaw is
you.
a friend of
That was
mine.
the worst interview setup I've ever had in my life. So let's rewind. Let someone else do that part.
We are honest and offensive, right? So
Shah is a friend
I got
of mine that I worked with going back a few years with Northern Touch Music Conference or Music Festival and Conference. He was here in what was it? 2019 was the last show that we actually had a live show, and then when 2020 rolled around and COVID was hitting, you and me and Q, we were kind of trying to hit the ground running and figure out things with how to do it virtually, and the way everything was having to go with COVID going on, and slowly I bowed out of that process, but you and Q held on pretty strong, and then you still have a full music career still going on throughout the pandemic, and now that we're coming out of it too, continuing on. So we're gonna talk to you about a bunch of all that stuff today, and see where that goes.
yeah, let's do this. Well, thanks for joining us. So let's first of all, how was your experience? Like, did you actually come to Winnipeg?
Yes.
And
he was here.
So how did you like Winnipeg?
Hey, I like grimy shit. I like grimy shit.
Nice.
So Winnipeg spoke to me. Winnipeg spoke to the grimy part of my heart, and maybe a little too high on the alcoholism, for my, but other than that, and it's a small place. I'm a big city
I'm
motherfucker.
sorry you had to
but
spend so much time with me.
Yeah, that's not all of Winnipeg. It's just Bretsky.
Yeah, it's mostly just me.
got it.
No,
got it.
Winnipeg's
But no,
all
I fuck
about
with
meth.
Winnipeg. I fuck with Winnipeg. I always like grimy cities that other, because I have this life of like luxury and expansion, getting money, and I live a luxurious life, so people are often surprised or shocked to hear of some of the grimy shit that I like. And Winnipeg fits like right in that category of, surprisingly grimy shit that Shah surprisingly likes. So I fuck with Winnipeg. And shout out my dog Shay. Shay is my brother. And Shay being from Winnipeg, there was this added element of love. So, I can't knock Winnipeg. I will say though that the show that I did for Northern Touch, or I did 2 shows for that. I've done 2 shows in Winnipeg. One was like that main stage at for the Northern Touch thing, which was dope. Another show was at some club. I can't remember. That was hands down, by far, the worst show I've ever had in my life. The saddest, most miserable fucking show that just, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing with my life right now? Worst show by far. And on the rap come up, there's bad shows. I don't know what other genres come up is like, but in the rap world, there's gonna be some misses. And oh man, so
Winnipeg
the worst
will
show
do
in the
that
history
to
of
you.
my life.
But
Yeah,
I mean, at
so-
least we're leading in something.
That's what we're here for.
We're also the Slurpee capital of the world.
We got to
Hey,
put
I
ourselves
fuck
on
with
the map
Slurpees.
somehow.
I fuck with Slurpees, but I don't do sugar drinks anymore. But I'm sure they got a diet one. Well, maybe Winnipeg doesn't have a diet one, but I fuck with Slurpees.
Oh yeah. So how did you when did you start your music career? Like did you always sing and
My man
rap,
really
or-
did zero research into this, Brett. Huh?
Yeah, zero, man. But this is where I like to find out things about
Our
you,
fans know nothing, so we got to like
Got
literally
it. Oh,
hold
got
their
it. I know.
hands, hold their hands through
I'm
everything.
making fun. All right. So, where did I start my music career? That's the question.
Yeah. And when?
I started. So 2016 was when I put out my first record, like properly, like distributing it, not just dumping it on SoundCloud and hoping for the best. I've been sort of making music. I've been in love with rap music my whole life. And then around 2013 was probably when the moment, like it probably struck me. It's like, all right, this is it. Like, this is the only thing that I can do. And then I just sort of moved slowly, not knowing how the game worked. And even still, I'm still discovering how the game worked. But from the point where it's like, all right, this is what I'm doing, there was still a long leg of just jumping in and like, chasing opportunities and positioning myself to win. So I would say 2013 is when it was like, all right, this is it. There's no other thing I can do. And 26 is when it really started like to do it properly, or what I thought was doing it properly.
Yeah. And so have you always lived in like Atlanta, and how's the music scene there? Because usually rap, like you see on the TV and in the media, everyone's going to LA, and California. There's lots of like big hype about that stuff, but I personally don't know anything about the rap music either.
You clearly never listened to Nelly
No, who's that? Oh, that's the guy with the
with the Band-Aid.
with the band. Yeah, so, yeah. Man, you're.
No, he was
you're
St.
getting
Louis. Sorry,
treated
sorry,
really
sorry.
nicely.
He was St. Louis. I side spoke on that one.
My
Yes.
man said St. Louis.
St. Louis. Yeah.
It's
He's-
getting hot in here.
Yeah, that guy.
Huh?
So yeah, like how's the music scene in Atlanta? Like, is it big and is it easy to kind of push your way to the top?
Yeah, so Atlanta for rap music specifically is the Mecca. It's where there's so much talent dripping from everywhere in Atlanta. And the difference between Atlanta and definitely Toronto and other cities is that the nature of Atlanta is encouraging, whereas most cities, I would say that there's a discouraging element to the city's nature, whether it's hating or jealousy or crabs in a bucket or whatever. In Atlanta, there's not really hating like that. And now because Atlanta's launched so many stars, y'all seem to be living in the 1970s. Y'all talking about Nelly and, y'all don't know about the Atlanta music scene. So I'll have to, for 20 years, right? Atlanta's been the dominant rap city. Like you guys might know like Lil Jon or Outkast. And then after that came, Future and Migos. And there's just like Atlanta superstar after superstar after superstar has come up.
For sure.
And now because there's this, 20-year history of Atlanta launching superstars, when they see someone new with talent, they encourage you. They'll make you feel good. So like when I came to Atlanta and I'm like, all right, there's something here for me. And I kind of settled in. I just be walking down the street and be like, yo, Shah, why you calling Just Text? The song that blew me up. And that shit had never happened to me really in Toronto or any other city that I've been in. So that's Atlanta in a nutshell. LA, what you're talking about, that shit happens for movies and for TV shows and for pop music. No one's going to LA to make it as a rapper.
Okay. Yeah, that was just my very what do you call it? Like amateur
uneducated
stereotyping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like I'm just thinking like if I look at like music videos, right? It's either like California or like Florida, like on the beach somewhere, like. I mean, for all I know, it could be Atlanta. I don't know if you guys have beaches there, but
Tommy's from Slovakia,
yeah,
so
I'm from Europe, and then I came to Canada, and that's it. Like
he's an immigrant.
Got it. So you know about ice hockey and World Wars.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, I know like fucking Romans invading a country and slaughtering everybody.
Right.
And then lots of like the metal music, like that's what I'm into.
But you were saying when you came to Atlanta, so where did you come up before Atlanta?
So the first place I went after Toronto, so I was born and raised in Toronto. I'm Toronto everything. But Toronto doesn't really offer you the opportunity to like make it beyond Canada, which is not really a way to sustain yourself, or it's not, it was not going to fulfill my ambition.
No, and we've talked about it in the show before too, that Canada is just an impossible place to become a touring artist because of just the space between all of the major centers and everything. You can't make a go of it here. It's near impossible.
You might be able to tour in Canada. Like there's artists like Classified or, I can't think of other names like that, but there are artists that, do their thing in Canada, and that's great for them. But, that's not what I'm trying to do with my life. So, the first place was New York, and then New York, there is business in New York, and there's business money in New York. So if you really know how to get money, and every rapper should, that's kind of like a prerequisite for rappers. If you don't know how to get money, then, you're in the wrong game. So you can survive in New York, but you can't really flourish in New York, especially as an outsider, and then I guess there is a lane to make it in New York, but it's really in the streets. It's really, you're out there banging, and that's not me. That's not my life. So I didn't come from, Toronto to go to New York to, start living that life. And back then, 5-6 years ago, that wasn't even really, I don't think that New York drill scene that's becoming, more prevalent and more prominent now, that wasn't even really popping like that. So after New York, I actually was in LA for a little bit, and then came back to Toronto, and then I was in Atlanta for what was supposed to be a show one night, and then it was like, oh, there's something here. And then, I tell people that at that back then, even though I knew that Atlanta was the rap mecca, sort of according to popular opinion, coming from Toronto, I never would have thought that any place in the South would offer anything. It's almost as preposterous as being like, oh, yo, move to Winnipeg. Winnipeg is going to help launch your careers. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Move to Manitoba. It was kind of like, move to the South. What are you talking about? Like the South? But Atlanta's not really the South. Kind of like New York's not really America, and Toronto is not really Canada. Yeah. Atlanta's not really the South. So it is in terms of people's warmth and like the generosity and how, but But in terms of the opportunity, like, yeah, but that's sort of where it ends. So came to Atlanta, and to get back to your question about the opportunity that Atlanta offers, it definitely offers something unique in rap music, in trap music specifically. So that's what it is.
Nice.
So you're talking about the song that went viral. Can you tell us how that happened?
Yeah, that's a good question. Speaking of body shame, my arms look real small, so I'm just gonna stay like this for the rest of the thing because they look real. I'm looking like some marathon runner.
I'm gonna do the same thing because like
all right, so we all doing
I'm
this.
feeling
right.
pretty tiny right now.
All right, okay. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm never
myself.
feeling tiny.
So how do I center myself so that? All right, there we go. Okay, and let's move to this way. All right. Okay, there we go. All right.
There you go.
So, so Just Text, actually, it is an interesting story. Someone did the research, or someone lucked out with the good question. Was I got detained crossing the border from from Canada to the States. You know, a brown man just innocently living his life is going to get, detained at the border.
I did last time too.
So they lock me in a little room. They tell me that basically just pushing me. But this had just happened earlier. They had just done the same shit before. So after that first incident, I had lawyered up and got a star killer lawyer, Charles Lohr. Rest in peace, Charles Lohr, who's no longer with us. But anyways, he prepped me for this possible moment of like what would happen if they try to like pull this shit again. And then so you're not allowed to have your phone in this tiny little box where they're questioning you, interrogating you, blah blah blah. You have no rights.
Yeah.
But I kept my phone on me. So now I'm texting him, like, Charles, all right, this happened, what do we do? How do I get through this? So he's quarterbacking me through the situation. All right, here's the options. Okay, we can do this, we can do that. But now I've missed my flight. So the people in New York, the homies in New York who are expecting me, they're hitting me up. So I'm not responding because I'm just, getting back to Charles. And then now they start calling. So now they're calling, it's making noise. I don't want to get busted. So in my head, I'm thinking, fuck, like, why are you calling just text? Why are you calling just text? And then it clicked in that moment. It's like, okay, this is a hit. This is relatable. Even if you're not locked in a box in Homeland Security, whatever, why you calling just text is relatable. We've got one. I got one. So now, and I'm very big. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe that everything happens for a reason. But I do believe that within any moment, particularly a moment that didn't go how you wanted, I believe you can view that situation from a standpoint of leaving it better off, even if it was something bad. And that just requires thinking, how can I be better off? What can I take away from this moment that'll leave me better off? And then, and that moment has gotten me through a lot of, like, that thinking has gotten me through a lot of moments in life. And as soon as that thought occurred, I'm like, okay, it's happened again. Like, terrible moment in life, but something good will come out of it. And it just sort of reinvigorated me to get back to Charles. And then, I took his advice. Shout out my agent who was with me, who also encouraged me, because I had basically given up. I would basically just accept it. All right, I'm fucked. I'm going to have to eat this. Like, I have a show coming up in Atlanta. Like, I've got this stuff going on. What am I going to do? And then thankfully, my agent Liz, combined with Charles, combined with that moment, all just led to the positivity needed to push through, get back in. And then a few months later, the song was born.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Now, going off of that, I had also been kind of going through your library, and you had about a year ago, you had a single called "Toxic," and you had it as in brackets TikTok song. Now, was that something that, like, did that get viral on TikTok, or were you just pushing for that to become a TikTok song, or?
Yeah, so there was some. So it was the first time that. So the first time I ever went viral, like truly viral, like something's just going out of control, and there's like thousands upon thousands of new followers every hour flowing in on Instagram, was Telemundo that was an Instagram phenomenon. Toxic was probably the first time where, and I guess Telemundo did have its moment on TikTok as well when I first put that on Instagram, not as powerful as Telemundo was on Instagram. But Toxic was, I think, the first time that TikTok users on their own started to like make little TikToks with Toxic. So I don't know why it said TikTok in brackets. I don't know. I'm not sure why it says that or where it says that. Maybe it was a prompt for me to say something that I'm forgetting right now. But
it just came up under, it said Shah Toxic, and then in brackets it said TikTok song. So,
like on Spotify, that's what it says?
No, YouTube was where I was finding
on
that.
YouTube?
I wonder if it went viral on TikTok. Maybe they used your song in their reels, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was wondering. Like I figured it was one of those ones that maybe got a bit viral with people's reels. They were doing maybe a
people
fancy
were making
Jason
reels with
Derulo
it.
dance
People
to it
were
or
making
something.
reels with it. I guess I'm not. I guess one weakness of mine is I'm not very like appreciative, or I need to be a lot more grateful in life. So an effect of that is that I don't really appreciate or notice or feel anything unless it's like hundreds of thousands of views or million, like unless it's at least 6 figures, 7 figures, unless it's like hundreds of thousands or millions, it doesn't make me feel good. So maybe that shit went viral on TikTok and maybe it hit 50,000 and it never even like reached my threshold of awareness. But I do remember at the beginning there were people making TikToks, and I guess I didn't know what to do. So Toxic, a lot of the songs I released in the pandemic, if not all of them, have been sort of down because I've been down in the pandemic and the world's been down, which is not the type of music that I'm known for making. It's not the type of music that I really feel defines who I am, but that's where I've been at. That's where the world's been at. So
it wasn't intended. It wasn't intended as any sort of like viral song. It just possibly.
No, it wasn't intended as a viral song. But I do remember that when it went to TikTok, which is what every artist wants to. It hits TikTok and people start making their videos. That's what everyone wants like nowadays. So I remember when it happened, I was like, okay, this is good news. But it was all like 13, 14, 15-year-old girls making TikToks to it. And I just didn't know how to interact. I just felt so creepy, like interacting in any way with this shit.
And, you can't be like, looking good, honey.
Exactly. Like, right? And so I was like, I'm like, all right, what do I do? And the shit wasn't good, right? Like, so these things were like, like sort of cringy. So now I'm like, all right, what do I do here? Like shit is not good. So I don't feel, correct in just saying like, oh, hey, nice work.
That's a whole dimension I never even thought of is like, everybody wants to like go viral somewhere, but what happens if you go viral for a reason you don't want to? Like, and like you say, you're going viral with potentially hundreds of thousands of just cringe ass videos that are just not good whatsoever.
Yeah, right. And it wasn't hundreds of thousands. Because if it was hundreds of thousands, I wouldn't have needed to do anything. So it was like, it was definitely, it was less. So it was like, all right, Shah, we need to do something. Like, because basically you need to do something to like reinforce the concept that, the creator is going to like amplify you. Because basically everyone wants clout. So if someone makes a video with your song and now I repost it or do whatever to amplify that video, and now other people see, oh, Shah, like if I make a Shah video, he's gonna like show some love. So now that will create a positive cycle. And I just didn't know what to do. I'm like, what to do here? And then Shay actually said, just troll them. Just go and just fucking troll these videos. And I was like, okay, that was the best idea.
Like, that's what I want to do.
That's pretty genius.
But then
actually.
I'm like, I have a very hard time. I think this is maybe a Toronto thing, but when
Are you too polite?
No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
It's the opposite of it.
No, it's the opposite. It's that when I try, like, I mean, you three look white. You know, white people really love, like, I don't know what the other, like chirping, right? Or busting someone's balls, right? This
what
concept
the show's all
I'm
about.
surprised you noticed, actually, that we're all white.
It's the lights.
Well,
in
I
here.
don't know.
Yeah, it is the lighting.
Nomad could have been Romanian, or she could have been one of those, you know. Like,
She's actually
like-
gypsy.
I am a gypsy.
Oh, you are? Okay, there you go. Right.
I thought you were going to say
No.
I am Egyptian, and I was going to be like, wait, what?
I didn't know this about you.
No.
You know, gypsies are actually from India.
Really? Yeah. I
Yeah,
guess that.
the origin story is from India. But anyways,
My
this is about
grandma
me,
claimed
not
to be
you.
a gypsy to the day she died. Like, she was a proud gypsy. I'm doing the
Yeah.
bunny air
Ears.
quotes here, but yeah, she always just proudly wore that title.
Right.
Don't know where
right.
it came from. I don't know. She was old.
You know what? That's okay. Yeah.
Grandparents.
That's totally okay to be proud of where you're from, right? Like, I'm on board with that.
But she wasn't a gypsy.
Well, maybe she was. Who knows?
She was from England. You don't know. There could have been gypsies
Alright.
going through England at the time. It was
They got
pre-World
them.
War
What's
II.
his name? Tyson Fury. Tyson
Yeah.
Fury's a gypsy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt in that movie.
Loads.
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 So loads is what we say instead of cheers on our show. If you don't have a drink in front of you, then what is that?
What's your
What is
poison?
that?
Yeah.
It's cough syrup, I think.
This is no.
Oh, that's a
cough
kombucha.
syrup.
Oh, kombucha.
Yeah, shout out kombucha.
Is there,
These guys been rocking with me for a minute.
Did you add some rum to it or no?
Rum. This is not 1997. I'm not on a beach in the Dominican Republic, my dog.
I had
I don't know
rum
how
to
they
my
do
kombucha.
in Slovakia, but
Oh no, we drink moonshine.
Yeah. Way stronger than
And
rum.
it's good. You can drink it and you can start a vehicle with it. Either too, you know.
This would
Use
be
it as
Nice.
a Molotov cocktail.
A good
Clean
time to get
cats.
into
Nice.
the brew of the show. The pizza oven is dedicated to the highest quality pie that the whole family can enjoy. With their amazing sauce and the freshest ingredients, the pizza oven is here to provide quality and a great tasting pizza to Winnipeg and East St. Paul. They use a delicious blend of mozzarella cheese and make their pizza crust daily, both thick and thin, and their meats are proudly provided by Winnipeg Old Country. They're located at 1215 Henderson Highway, Unit D in Winnipeg. Call them today at 204-949-3000 because everyone's loving the pizza oven. And tell them the VIPod sent you by using promo code VIPod5 for 5% off of your order, and order online for an additional 5% off for a grand total of 10% off of your order.
We would like to take a moment to say a great big thank you to our lead sponsor, SafetyNet Studio, for bringing us to all major platforms under their banner. SafetyNet Studio is a boutique audio company. They produce podcasts, offer voice work, and create content for radio stations across North America. You can head to safetynetstudio.com and check out music news you can use that's covering the chart toppers and floppers. It's a daily 6 to 7 minute pod that keep you up to date with all your active rock and top 40 favorites. You can also hear music news you can use on your local radio station.
Badlands Promotions Inc. is a music production company based out of Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, Canada. They promote local shows, all ages, and 18+. They also offer a wide variety of services including concert promotions, tour bookings, merchandising, flyers, photo and video services, studio recording, EPK, and website building. Call Badlands Promotions Inc. at 204-595-0500. You can also email them at badlandspromotionsplap@gmail.com. VIPOD is very excited to promote every Badlands Promotions Inc. show, so come out and support your local scene.
It's gonna go back to the raspy red beard.
Yeah, right there. That's your count.
It's another one of our friends, Brazen Hall Brewery. We've had it on the show before, but
That's
it
a
is
fantastic beer.
Prison Hall Brewery.
Brazen Hall. So they're in Winnipeg here on Pembina Highway. They're a restaurant with a little microbrewery inside, and my God, do they make some of the best beers around?
They really do.
It's unreal. I don't think I've not liked one of their beers yet, and I don't like much beer.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay, got you.
Your taste buds.
I'm
are
starting to.
changing.
I'm expanding my horizons.
Yeah.
I'll say
That's
that much.
Little Bretsky's growing up.
So what's your poison? If you choose to have a drink, what's your favorite drink?
Tried bottom shelf tequila in the Mexican supermarket.
Nice.
Yep.
We don't have Mexican supermarkets here, but if we did, I would be buying all the tequila I could. I love tequila.
We know.
Yep.
every listener knows too.
It's so flavorful.
I mean, I love tequila. I've had bad ones. I've had good ones, and even the bad tequila. So I hate it when people are just a cheap tequila. They're just like, oh, it's so gross. I only drink Patron. I'm like, you only drink Patron because of the price value on it. So you think you're drinking like fancy stuff, but like, I don't know. I overall like,
Patron is better than most of the low shelf stuff here, but it is not equal to its value to how good it is.
yeah, like $100 for a fucking bottle of Patron.
What you pay for it in the States is very reasonable. They charge
it's a lot
a
cheaper.
good price for Patron in the States, but here in Canada, yeah, like you said, like $80 to $100. No, it's
Not
not
worth it.
that good.
So what's the bottom end tequila there? Like, what is it called? Or just any?
Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, it won't even have a name. It'll just have a symbol.
Nice.
like
Fuck,
Prince.
so it's moonshine. It's the Mexican moonshine.
Yeah.
That's like I
It was
remember
more
when I was about 18, they used to have this stuff here, and it was called El Toro Negro. And it wasn't tequila, it was tequila-style liqueur.
Ooh.
And it was still 40%, but it wasn't tequila. It was just tequila flavored.
Oh.
And my God, did that ruin a lot of nights for me.
But it was cheap.
Oh, it was so cheap.
So what's the plan for you with music? Do you have any tours planned? Do you have any new albums coming out? What's going on?
Yeah, so there's a lot of singles in the chamber that are ready to go. The one thing that's opened up in the pandemic, over the pandemic, is that I've had a moment in India. So my parents are Desi, which means South Asian. So I'm brown, South Asian heritage. I've never been
I thought it was just the
particularly-
lighting that was weird.
No, this is accurate lighting. So I've never been particularly connected to my own culture and to something that I wanted to do, but just, there's only so many hours in the day. It's never really been something that I've had the chance to pursue. And until just sort of like a parody video just took off in India. It's hit 2, maybe 3 million views by now. And then it really opened up the opportunity for me to be like, all right, this is something I want to do, is connect with my heritage. So now I started to create a lot of content that's backed by a plan that actually the homie Shah helped develop, where we're releasing content targeting South Asia, where there's already this signal that developing this fan base in the millions will be just a lot, I guess, a lot faster than anywhere else. One, the population in India is 1 billion. 2, there's that connection with me and me being Indian and this fascination. That,
So is it a
who's this
music
brown
video,
guy?
or like you said, it was a parody video? So was it a parody song? Was that what you were doing?
I can send it to you guys if you want. But it was I guess it was a remake of a like classic Indian song, probably like one of the like 10 most famous Bollywood songs ever.
Fair enough.
And then it was a remix of me singing like the male's part. It was like a female male duo. And then the video also took clips. So I have a lot of like very epic, very cinematic like video footage.
Yes.
So it took some of those most like cinematic clips and mixed them with some of the most cinematic moments from that Bollywood movie and that song in that movie. So it worked really well, like visually and musically. It sounded really good. But what happened, which was one of the first times this ever happened for me in my life, is that it really offended a lot of people. It really offended a lot of Indians who were like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? And I've never really courted controversy. I don't have a gimmick. I'm not like a shocking character, which in rap music, like, there's if that like being the way I am, it provides credibility and authenticity, but it makes it harder to capture attention when you're not out there like, shooting shit up or beating people up or whatever. So this was a great opportunity for me in that, hey, here's a bunch of haters. This is new. And then what happened, which is what often happens when there's a lot of hate, is that it draws the attention of people who are like, nah, this shit is fucking dope. And then they started combating the haters in the comments, and it led to more shares and led to more views, and it propelled the thing. So, and that's sort of what led Shay to thinking that, we're all like, there's something here for you. There's something here for you. Let's invest and go deeper. There's something that you've been wanting to do. Now's the moment. So I'll send you guys the thing. And you can take a look.
Link to that. I want to see that.
Well, we'll if it's okay, then we'll play it on the show too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like they say, any publicity is good publicity.
Well, and I feel like you're right at home here with that type of content, because that's kind of what we do. Like we've been doing this thing, like this whole show was born out of it was born out of a joke, but just before the pandemic, and it was what we kind of used to get through the pandemic. And
there was a full lockdown, and we could still get together because technically a podcast is considered broadcasting. So we were still able to hang out, even though everybody else was
both of us were able to hang out.
Yeah.
You were in Florida
a couple times, and then she fucked off to Florida.
But essentially, this podcast was what kind of like brought us through a lot of the pandemic, and it was one of those things where, like, the majority of our content is wholesome and comes from a good place and is really promoting a lot of positive stuff. But we say some swear words from time to time, and it just kind of makes it
shit.
We kind of have like this. It's kind of got that like little kind of dark side to it, I guess, where in today's culture, you always kind of got to look over your shoulder when you're doing that stuff, because the wrong person listens to it and you can just get canceled. But like, doing this show,
like a person can't talk about black olives anymore. That's an inside joke.
That was a very bad inside joke. Don't even worry about that. We're gonna cut it right out of the show. Nope. But yeah, like I feel kind of the same as what you were saying with that, where you're dealing with that controversy, and we've kind of throughout our career had a few hiccups here and there too, where there was with the modern stuff, you made a joke, and just because it was live on air and you weren't necessarily thinking everything through, it's not the greatest thing right on the spot. But we're all just trying to have a good time, and we're trying to get through this. And
the thing is, like you said, that like you're not making fun of another culture. Like, this is your culture, your background, right? So
he wasn't making fun of it. He was celebrating it.
Exactly. It was a parody, but parody doesn't mean that you're making fun of them. Yeah, exactly. So, like,
that's the exact same thing that happened with us. We were making a lighthearted joke where if you followed our show. Yeah. And what we were talking about, everything was well within context. But if you went and just, as an outside listener, went and took this little sound clip. Well, yeah, you could
Yeah.
probably make it sound a heck of a lot worse
Yeah.
than it was. And it's it's bullshit. Like, people need to get back to, you know, I think the mentality of it. You know, if something is not legitimately hurting people and you don't like it, just don't listen.
Yeah.
Just don't listen. Just walk away. Like, yes, I understand. There are things that are toxic that need to be dealt with in this world, and you can't stand for it. But there's a lot of shit that you could easily just not fucking listen.
Though it sounds like that really worked for you. If it was, you know, people hating on you made other people step up and defend you and share more.
Yeah, it didn't work the same for us. We didn't get more listeners.
Yeah, no, for me, definitely worked out. I just sent it to you, Brett, in your
Cool.
Facebook message. But for me, definitely worked out. But like I said, for me, I'm someone who I haven't courted controversy to my detriment, and I'm not naturally someone who. I don't think I'm naturally someone who shocks, which for a rapper is not, you know, like a positive trait. Like, for a rapper, you want to be someone who naturally, like at least in this era, like, you know, 6ix9ine and his willingness and thirst for attention is, you know, a valuable trait, and it's a trait that serves him well. And and for rappers who just have that, like, I guess, you know, a lack of shame. That translates into attention, which is really like the currency that maintains relevance, even if it's bad, even if it's like, you know, this is not the rap of 12, 15, 20 years ago where quality really matters. Even, you know, if you look at the albums that rappers are putting out, it doesn't, like, you know, quality is not what's important.
I find that with everything right now. Like, I don't even go on TikTok ever, but like if I open Instagram ever, like, TikTok shit just pops up, and you just see videos of fucking skanks like doing whatever, and I'm like,
I wish I had a set of tits and a nice
This
ass.
isn't clever or funny or talent or anything. Like, it's just crazy what people are just putting out there,
But
just
dudes
to
will
put out
follow
there.
it.
Oh, it just
Yeah. To get real followers with like true art.
with integrity and talent and purpose is just, it's dying, and it's sad.
It's dying, but yeah, and that's just the world that we're living in. You know, attention spans are short, and attention spans are going to get shorter. And just to be clear, I got no problem with girls titties popping, asses shaking. Like,
No,
I got no problem with that.
I love the female form.
I'm not
I'm
hating.
just saying, it's
No,
like,
girls keep doing that. And I'll
Nonsense.
also say, and I'll also, like, you know, I encourage that, because that's just the world that we live in. So there's a market for that. So go like, if a girl can directly go and do that on TikTok versus, you know, a TV station or like versus someone curating and exploiting the image of a girl, and go do that, you know, and TikTok is still, like, the platform is still exploiting the girl by not, you know, paying for those images, but the girl gets to have her own audience. So, like, you know, a girl shaking her ass is kind of the equivalent of this video that went and did it in India, where, and that voice, that your voice is actually kind of important, because, like, if in those, like, you know, those cheerleader or those titty popping, those twerking videos, if it was all positive feedback, like, oh, hey, you look sexy, you look great, then it would probably be a bit dry, but it kind of like, but when the comments are like, you should be ashamed of yourself, or you got no talent, or whatever, it's almost better for the girl, because now, like, one, that makes you stay in the comments a little bit longer, right? So that will speak to some people. It'll be like, yeah, true, or I'll like the hating comment, right? But then she'll have her backers as well. It's like, no, like, who are you? You know, like think about Nicki Minaj. Her comments are so rabid and so supportive. They'll jump in there, and that's sort of what you need. And that's something that I kind of have lacked until this India moment. Mm-hmm. So, but what you're saying is true, in that, like, talent, as you know, you would define it, like, artistically, it just doesn't have the ability to capture attention like it used to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, for music, I find it, like, especially here in Winnipeg, even though the music scene is not as big,
it's diluted, is what
but
it is.
it's, yeah, absolutely. Like, a lot of the Winnipeg artists that are getting more successful, they're leaving Winnipeg because it's just there's no future to it here. And even
Well,
though,
who the fuck would stay in Winnipeg?
well, right? I mean, there's really nothing here.
No, the scene here is
It's
huge.
cold.
The scene here is huge. You can literally make a name for yourself here, but then you need to
But it doesn't leave Winnipeg.
you need to move on from
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
you can't you're not just going to stay here and keep playing the circuit and then be doing
I wouldn't
world
think so.
Now,
tours.
the Winnipeg stabbing videos are huge on TikTok. Like, there's tons of those.
The Winnipeg stabbing videos are huge on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been getting more reels and reels. It's like cops here.
That's
There's
so
a stabbing
fucked
here. Taped off areas, and like they pop in a popular song, and next thing
And
you
they
know,
show the stabbing.
well, no, they don't show the stabbing, but they
Oh,
just show
okay.
like the
Okay.
crime scene. Like, oh, there was another stabbing in the back alley.
Okay, no, because TikTok takes down anything of mine that has
Oh,
even
yeah. Oh, yeah.
small.
Every time
violence.
I've posted a video of myself stabbing someone, they've taken it down. It's so weird.
What the fuck, man? Stop fucking hating. Man's out here stabbing, trying to get some views. Y'all taking down his shit. Now he's gonna stop stabbing people.
Yeah.
He's only
weird.
stabbing cops. We need less fucking cops. We need less fucking cops. Goddamn TikTok.
One of our guests, Surreal, he's a rapper from BC. He was doing a live, TikTok live, and then he just showed, or not even showed, he just grabbed a picture of Jessica. It was a drawing of Jessica Rabbit with one titty popped out, and he just kind of moved it and instantly banned. And like it took him like 4 or 5 months to get his account back. And it's just like, for fuck's sakes, that is art. That is an actual art piece. But a girl wearing a string and shaking her booty is totally fine.
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all.
Right? But it is what it is. I wanted to ask you still a question. So you mentioned that, basically now you're releasing singles, right?
Yep.
And I think that's the way it's going right now. Like releasing a full album, like we talked about, the attention span of people is very
Exactly.
small.
Yeah, we've
So,
talked about
yeah,
it multiple
we've
times
mentioned
on
it,
the
yeah.
show. Like
And
it's a if you don't have the public's attention now in 20 seconds, they click next.
Yeah.
So
But how are you with live performance? Like, do you do a lot of those, or do you do small parties, big places? What do you prefer?
Yeah, my live show is definitely a strength of mine. I've toured internationally. I've toured Europe. I've done.
and it's a
festivals.
fantastic show. I can attest to that. I have seen it live.
Thank you, Brett. Yeah, so my show, when people book me, they know that Shah puts on a show, and especially as a rapper, 'cause in rap, a lot of rappers are just rapping over their full track. But even beyond rap, like my stage show is known for being sort of top notch. Right now, like so the pandemic really. Like obviously for everyone, the pandemic really sort of just knocked live shows and touring, down and out. This is the first year where touring and shows are fully back. So I do have some shows planned, but one thing that that the pandemic finally sort of forced me to do that now I've embraced, which I guess I've alluded to now, is creating content. So right now I'm really deep into content mode. I'm in this productive mode that I haven't been in like a long time. So
and like you mentioned that this is the trend now. This is what's popular. So you kind of have to go with the times, right?
you can. So for me, I do have the option of like I could go back and do the same shows that I was doing before. I could go back and I could tour Europe this summer, and I still might, but it, for me, it personally doesn't feel like a win to go back and do the same level of shit that I was doing before. I also know that I have been lagging on content. So now that I'm finally in the mode where it's like, all right, I enjoy creating content. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel corny. I also have the power of knowing that this is going to a place where it's going to hit, it's going to land, it's going to do something for me. It just allows me to peacefully, with peace of mind, prioritize content over the shit that a rapper would normally prioritize. So that's the answer to touring right now. I just sort of deprioritized it temporarily. I might, switch back. I might miss it so much. I'll be like, all right, I'm back on the road. And then I was just in New York. I just had shows in New York last week. And, the other thing that spacing out your shows does is it just drives up the price, right? Like supply and demand. So if you do less shows, you can charge more money. So that also is a factor that makes it easier to just do less shows. So, all those combine to me not being fully in live music mode right now.
Yeah.
So when you do tour, what's been your favorite place that you've done a show?
Winnipeg.
Favorite place? Great question. Great
Northern Touch
question.
Music Festival.
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg was the worst show I've ever had in my life. It made me hate life. It just made me so fucking sad.
And was
It was
that like?
So we're memorable.
Are you saying you did bad that day, or just Winnipeg was bad?
The crowd. There was one person in the crowd, or there was two people in the crowd. One was my booking agent, and the other person was a journalist who was there because he was going to interview me the next day. And other than that, it was just the fucking bar staff. It was the worst fucking experience.
I wonder where that was. I know you said
and
you don't.
The venue seemed somewhat legit too. I think it was a place that was maybe it's called Footwork or something like that.
Yeah.
Footstep.
Yeah, Footwork. Is-
I've
It was
never heard of
the worst.
Exchange.
Oh my God, by far. And I've had some shitty shows. Like I've had a really shitty show in Sweden. It was part of a music festival and they just timed the thing. Yeah. So I was competing against the festival's main act. For some reason on this opening night, they had two venues, the main stage and this one little industry venue. They put me at the industry venue. So I was competing against the headlining act of the festival, some Swedish band that was reuniting after some many years type shit. So that was also a terrible thing, but there was still at least, there was some Shah fans there. There was like at least, 40 people in the crowd type shit. And it was still terrible, but it was not 0 people. It was not 2 people.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, that was the
very
worst.
hard to perform with no one there.
I've seen that happen here with some really big names. People that used to fill up 80,000 people stadiums come to a bar show here and 8 to 12 people show up. Like it's a sad part of the industry. But I do want to kind of go back to something you said did we lose him there? Okay, he's back. Where you were saying you've come to a point where you're able to create content and not feel like it's
corny or
forced or anything anymore. So how did you get to that point? Because I think right now in today's COVID / post-COVID kind of world, that's probably the most important thing for content creators to be able to discover is how to get that kind of regular content going and not feel corny or forced about it.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So let's see. It's sort of, so how do you get over that hump? I guess it's sort of like, it's sort of like hollering at girls, right? When I was like maybe 14, 15, 16, like I couldn't get girls. I really wanted girls. I couldn't get girls. I really wanted girls, right? And then maybe 16, 17, it switched where it's like, hollering at a girl is nothing. Like the absolute worst thing that can happen is she says no. And then when that switch happens in your brain, then you have the confidence to holler at girls. And now you just know how to properly holler at girls. And now you get girls. And now the fact that you get girls attracts more girls. And now it's just, it's just easy. So with content, it's a very similar thing where it is corny, I guess. It is corny. Like the part that's corny about social media is that you're putting something out there to seek attention, right? And seek approval. So what's corny about that is really, it's just like, well, you're seeking approval, you're seeking attention. It's like there's something about your insecurity, right? But if you're an artist, then seeking attention that's what you do.
It's part of
That's
your job.
like you can reshape it and repurpose like how you think about that. So it's, I'm not seeking attention, I'm creating art. Yeah, but seeking attention is what's gonna, like, attracting attention is what's gonna pay the bills. and you need to seek attention in order to succeed. So
yeah, the hardest part of being an artist, I think, is being okay with the fact that you're an artist.
Yeah.
And just
That's why I
Well,
never
being a-
sell any artwork.
being a salesman is being like it's like self-promotion, right? Like I don't even want to say the words I hate self-promotion. So I don't want to propel. I don't want to I don't want to put that out there that I hate self-promotion. But I know deep down inside, I'm not naturally a good salesman. I don't enjoy the act of, or I'm learning to enjoy the act of self-promotion. But that's what it is. So the first part of achieving what you just asked and how to get over that is just accepting, well, this is just what it is, right? And not even what I've got to do. Just fucking do it. Just do it. And maybe find a lane of something that speaks to you. And TikTok, I would say, is way better than Instagram for allowing you to find content that is actually like worth consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Reels, I feel like it's all just paid for ads or it's all just trash. Whereas TikTok, it might be trash that you want to consume. Like I love looking at titties, right? I love looking
We
at
all love
titties. I
titties.
love it. I love titties. So, but you know, there's nothing-
that's the name of this episode. I love titties.
I love titties.
I love titties.
Give me them
I do, I do.
tatas.
I do. But
He just blanked out
There's-
for a minute. So, wait,
oh yeah, I
what
was
I
just picturing.
talking
I
about?
was just picturing. And
He was just waiting to
there's
see if
titties
you
at
were
the
going to
pool.
just robe gently.
There's titties at the
but
pool. Can
then-
you zoom in?
No, that'll be a bit creepy. They're asking if I can zoom in. It's a podcast.
Move your finger because we can't see you. There you go. That's great.
So now once you've accepted that, all right, this is just something that I've got to do, and now you're doing it, and now you find the lane of content that speaks to you. So now you won't like have that sort of negative feeling of creating it because it's something that you enjoy consuming. You'll know that other people are consuming it. When it really starts hitting, when you really start to get over that negative, friction, is when the videos start landing. So when you put out a video and it hits, and now you see, all right, I dropped it. There's 1,000, there's 20,000, there's 40,000 views on the thing. Then that'll really allow you to overcome it. And then last year, Reels was also paying out on Instagram, so you would get a check. So that also helped. All right, now let's keep this going. Like I'm getting
A little
paid
bit of
for
a
this.
motivator right there.
So there's the motivation. But then even now, Reels has stopped the payout shit. And now actually Reels has suppressed me, and my team believes it's because Instagram doesn't want to pay out. So now I don't
Fuck
even
Reels.
have the reinforcement of the money or those views, because now I'm effectively shadow banned on Instagram, but I'm still creating just because now I've gotten over that hump of thinking it's corny. The hump still now is in the editing of it in order to make it quality or informative. So either to make it entertaining or informative, not just trash. The editing
basically, it's not as
takes
simple
time.
as just taking a video of yourself and posting it. There's a lot.
You
of
can do
process.
that. You can do that, and I do that. But that's not going to like really speak to anyone,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's the type of video where, all right, if you're a pretty girl shaking your ass, then sure, 3 seconds here, put it on, that might hit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's going to need to be some, or if I'm beating someone up, or if I'm robbing a place, then sure, those 3 seconds unedited, they can hit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like people will want a punchline, or people will want a story, or people will want
Yeah.
really something that they can take away to make their own life better, right?
Yeah.
Now that takes some while to edit, and now that's my hump with my ADHD. It's like, all right, taking this story that's happened and making it entertaining, or taking this game that's in my head and editing it down to 15 seconds so someone can watch it and now be, informed so they can do their own thing. that edit can take 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. So
We just got to start robbing people on our TikTok.
That's why I almost never post anything, because in my head it's like, yeah, it's, someone looking at it takes 2 seconds, but it takes me an hour and a half to like edit every photo or, put it together the way I want. It takes so long, and then I'm just like, I'll do it later. And then I just don't. So maybe you guys can let me beat the shit out of you with a baseball bat later, and we can just film that.
Let's film that.
I'm in.
Then we finally have some content for the Instagram.
do it, but do it with your titties out. Beat them up with the guitar. Titties out.
See? He knows what's going on.
It's what they keep telling me, but you kind of need an outsider to tell you sometimes.
Yeah.
For the listeners and the viewers, stay tuned.
It's gonna happen at the VIPod barbecue, August 27th.
Yeah.
Oh, no one told me about this.
Yeah, see Nomad get beat up with her titties out. I'm gonna smash a guitar over her head.
No.
If
No
there's
one
a
wants to
pool
see
of
her
Jell-O,
get beat up.
She beats us
I'm
up?
supposed to beat you up,
No
you
one
idiot.
wants to see her get beat up with her titties out.
Dumbass.
What? No.
See, these guys are idiots. Look what I'm working
what do you
with.
mean these guys? I knew exactly what was going on. I knew that you were going to beat the shit out of us
see-
with your titties
Yes.
out.
So
But
Brettski's
this guy, he's
confused.
the idiot.
No.
I was on the same
No.
Just
That's so
give me
sad.
a pool of green Jell-O, and
Yeah.
I'll be okay for the day.
I like getting
If you,
beat
if
up
you
by
got green jello, and titties, you don't even need to beat someone up.
No.
Green
I
jello
just
and
play in there.
titties.
that's what I've been
watching.
telling her. I've
Green
been telling her that.
Jell-O, rubber duckies.
Yeah, she was like, how do you, how come these girls get, all these followers? I'm like, well, let me handle your TikTok. Let's sit down one afternoon. I'll make some videos of you and we'll post it.
I'm
it's for her own
A
good.
few Jello tubs and you'll have thousands of
I'm
viewers.
not an idiot. I get why they get followers. It's just mind-blowing to me that it's like, 100 million chicks doing the exact same. Like, every time I open TikTok, or not TikTok,
It's mind-boggling that
Instagram,
there's that much space for it.
for a week, like everything that popped up first was like a chick holding a towel, and then it's saying, when your face looks innocent, and then they drop the towel and they have huge tits, and I'm like, this isn't clever the first time, and it's not clever the 100th time.
But sure is entertaining.
But it is, because I
love
watch
titties.
it every time. I'm like, okay, what's her body look
That's
like
Tommy's
under there?
favorite reel.
But I'm also like so disappointed. I'm like, okay, yeah, do what you got to do to get out there, but fuck, like, I don't know.
You know what you
Come
need
up
to
with
do is
something on your
you
own.
need to just
Be
recognize a
clever.
paycheck when it's presented to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You can wear a ski mask. You can wear a ski mask when you're doing it, so you can have your, you can have your privacy.
There's
actually a
apps to
chick-
blur your face now.
There's a chick
Super
on
easy.
TikTok. It's a blondie, ski mask blondie or something like that. She wears a ski mask all the fucking time, wearing a bikini, and she's got like a tight rocking body. Fake tits. That kind of turns me off a little bit, but like her body is just like 10 out of 10.
Okay, do you prefer fake tits or like
Hate fake tits.
bad tits?
Bad
All
tits.
tits. I love all tits. I love all tits. I got no problem with big tits.
So, do you have a song of yours that's like the most near and dear to your heart? And what would that be?
Let's see.
Because
let's see.
it sounds
Telemundo
like
was
you have a
probably my-
lot of, like when you explain your songs, it sounds like you put a lot of thought into them. So I'd think
I do, and when you ask that question, then like I mentioned earlier, the songs that I put out during the pandemic are generally a bit darker, and they do speak to me a little bit more. They haven't been my hits though. Like they're not, like they're darker songs that aren't engineered to be hits. It's the pandemic, so the normal means I have to work those songs in the strip clubs, etc. I haven't been doing that, so those songs haven't had the impact that my other songs have. But those like Nota Alta or Demons, those songs are very near and dear to my heart, literally. Like it was just pure sort of honesty. But the one, aside from those recent darker pandemic songs, Telemundo is the one that brings me joy because it was the first time I ever went viral. It was the first time that there was like this phenomenon of Shah. Like I was performing at parades, and I was being, it was the first time I was getting recognized outside of Atlanta. So Telemundo is probably the one nearest and dearest to my heart. Yeah.
I want to ask of you that I try to ask of a lot of our guests is fuck up a song lyric. So like,
Was there a song you thought said something and then you realized later you had the lyrics way wrong.
Like for example,
sure, I do,
like the old Jimi Hendrix, "Excuse me, will I kiss the sky?" A lot of people think it's "Excuse me, will I kiss this guy?" Like,
yeah,
Those people are
something
idiots,
like that.
but
yeah. So there's a Young Thug song that goes, "We ran up the bitches, we ran up the money. We ran up the bitches, we ran up the money." So getting more girls, getting more money. We ran up the bitches, we ran up the money. We ran up the bitches, we ran up the money. Ran up the bitches, we ran up the money. And what I thought it was we ran out of bitches, we ran out of money. We ran out of bitches, we ran out of money.
complete opposite.
And the complete opposite. I'm like, yo, this is some real shit. And then I'd be in the club.
It's more relatable.
Singing along. We ran out of bitches, we ran out of money. We ran out of money.
I feel like that's so much more relatable.
That's one of the
I'm like,
better.
yo, this is
That's
a
one of the
real
better
one.
responses we've had. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
definitely.
I'm like, this is a real motherfucker.
Wait,
He's like, shit.
Did it start? We ran out of money, and then we ran out of bitches.
Which came first?
The chicken or the egg? We all know the answer to that.
Well, what we do at the end of the show, and we're gonna still continue our shit show after, but what we usually do at the end of the show, we give shout outs to anybody. So this is time for you to plug anybody, whether it's your family, friends, manager, whatever, labels, whatever you want.
And yourself, let people know where to find you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you can find me. I'm Shah. All my social media is Day of Shah, DAYOF Shah, SHAH. Who do I want to shout out? I want to shout out my agent Liz. I want to shout out my dog Shay. I want to shout out my engineers and producers, Eddie Beethoven, Levin. I am Levin. I want to shout out my YouTube campaign guy, who I believe is also Winnipeg, Matthias Schmidt. I want to shout out my Lake Lanier fishing guide, Ben. I want to shout out Alexin on 8th, the place where I'm living. I want to shout out Bernie Sanders. And I want to shout out all the girls out there getting abortions. Shah loves you. If y'all need help getting those abortions, I'm here for you. I'll help however I can. Shout out all the girls that have gotten abortions for me specifically. God bless you.
I can't thank you
love
enough.
you. I will always remember
Way cheaper
you.
than child support.
You always have a special place in my heart. Shah loves you until the end. And much love to all of Winnipeg. I love grimy shit. I love y'all. I can't wait to be back. And all three of y'all.
If you come back, I promise we'll get at least 8 people in the club next time.
Could you do me a favor and can you shout out the tits in the pool right now, like on the show live?
Yeah.
Say Tommy loves you.
And one more shout out. Titties at the pool. Tommy loves you.
Yeah.
Tommy's interviewing for the podcast. Yeah.
Right on, Shah.
And we
Shah,
got the
thank
flash.
you
And we got
so
the
much
titties
for
flash.
giving us your time
we got
tonight.
the titty flash, nice.
Oh.
Well,
We
I hope
did.
they were
Yes,
nice.
we did.
Your camera was facing the wrong way, but
Thank
we'll
you,
forgive
thank
you.
No, that would be creepy. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
for
on.
sure, for sure.
That's weird.
Tell them that we do have a email. It's vipodmail@gmail.com, and they can send titty shots there. We'll be more
there
than
we
happy
go.
to. We'll appreciate them, and we'll
We'll
not
keep them
share
private.
Yeah, we'll keep them
There
private.
we go.
Just
There we
for
go.
the show.
And those would be the first titty shots we get on our email. So that would be
Right.
fantastic.
We've been asking for years, though.
Nomad, you're about to take over. I want to see some next time.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
see you at the Star, all right?
That's your cue.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Much
We're
love.
not
much love.
looking.